Yo, welcome back to Fighting with Friends. It's your boy, brother Gaia. We are back again today with another preview. This time we are previewing One Friday Fights 139, which will be live this Friday, 23rd of January at half past 1 South African time from Lumpinee Stadium on YouTube, where we will also be doing a nice live watch along of this fight card. As always, like, share, and subscribe, everybody. Make the channel grow. Help us get to our next milestones. We are boosting every single day. Every little click of the button of subscribing and liking does help the channel massively. So to get the clicking, people. But yeah, today we're gonna break down a very, very fun card actually, and super stacked. I can't wait to get straight into it. Hope you guys all had a fantastic week. Let me bring it up on screen for you in the meantime. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, One Fighter Fights 139. I'm going to break down each fight, give you some of the X's and O's, and then at the end of the episode, as usual, I will then be releasing my picks for this fight card. And then if you stay tuned tomorrow when we do our live watch along of this fight card, myself and AD will release the bet slips for One Friday Fights 139 as well as one fight night 39, because we only actually get the line open Friday morning, which is quite unfortunate. So that's but sucky, because yesterday we actually released our first installment of If I Was a Betting Man, our parlay episodes. But we couldn't talk about one championship because there was no, at least here in South Africa, the line wasn't open. So tomorrow morning, the line will be open. AD will lock in our bets, and then I will then break them down again when we do our live watch along of this current Friday fights card that's coming up tomorrow. But okay, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me kick it off and get straight into the main event. Bring it up on screen for you, where we see the return of Worapon and Soe Lin. I say return. Worapon fought last year a couple of times, but towards the end of the year, he had a bit of a stumbling block in his career at the moment. Soe Lin kind of also needing to get himself back into a win streak, because he had 3 losses, unfortunately, I think, from 2024 to 2025. Now it's a new year, hoping to start his year off with some wins. Let me give you some statistics, and then we'll break it down nice and swimmingly. Give it the best that I can, and then we can talk about it later. Worapon, 23 years old, recording 1 championship, 6 wins, 5 losses, 0 contest, 1 win by KO, 1 win by TKO, and he lost to Julio Lobo by unanimous decision in his last fight. And that was a big fight for me. And I say it's big because I think I learned a little bit more about Worapon in that fight that I didn't see, or at least I saw something in that fight that I thought that he might have gotten rid of in his tendencies, but he brought it back in that fight. So I think there's still a lot for him to learn and grow, considering he's only 23 years old. But I think that fight against Julio Lobo exposed the sort of inexperience, for lack of a better term. Soe Lin does not lack any experience. He's 34 years old. He's recorded 1 championship, 3 wins, 3 losses, 0 contest, 2 wins by KO, 1 win by TKO, 3 fight losing streak, losing to Dimitri Koftin by unanimous decision in his last fight. A little bit gutted by that performance, but I mean, we look at his 3 losses, was Dimitri Koftin, Seksan, the man who yields nobody, and Nabil Anand, the current Bantamweight Muay Thai champion. So it's like those 3 losses were against really good names. You know what I mean? All 3 of those fighters are the top tier. That he also beat Pong Suri, Fabio Reis, Masayoshi Tsuhashi. He beat all 3 of them by a KO. And that's the kind of fight style that Soe Lin brings you, right? The man is still just extremely durable. Typical Myanmar sort of native, if you think about it. Like, just super durable, takes the shots, walks forward, puts the pace on you, make sure that they put a lot of pace on you and they break you down systematically throughout the fight, and eventually gets the KO that way. I must say it has caught up to Soe Lin. I would say that's probably why we see him lose 3 fights in a row, is that particular fight style. If you're taking on fighters that are very elusive, stay out of danger, high volume, they're going to beat him all the time because they're going to outland him every single time. They might not be able to knock him out, but they're going to for certainly outland him in every single round. And I think that's what Warapon's going to have to do in this fight. He's going to have to not only be aggressive but be defensively sound, because Soe Lin doesn't go away. So he's going to notice very early in this fight that it's going to crack Soe Lin with some big shots, but it's not going to knock him out. It's not going to knock him down even, and that's going to be a realization of him that this is going to be a 3-round fight. It's not going to be a one and done kind of thing. It's going to go all the way, and that's where I'm a little bit concerned for Worapon. Why I'm saying that is what I noticed in the fight against Julio Lobo. Julio Lobo is not even like high level, top tier kind of guy. He's a good fighter. He's a very, very good fighter. He's dangerous for anybody because he packs a lot of power in this division and he's quite tall. But there are a bunch of fighters in the Bantamweight division in Muay Thai that will walk through Julio Lobo very easily. They will just steamroll him. And Worapon in this fight got exposed. Why I'm saying that is because Worapon, what was making him win a lot of his fights was this sheer just overpowering his opponents, walking them down, putting them into the clinch, and just like smashing them with elbows and shots, and just weighting them down in the clinch the whole time, big knees. And in this fight against Julio Lobo, he got matched when it came to that. Julio Lobo matched him in power, matched him in size, and outstruck him by working off that jab and making Worapon miss a lot of the time because of the jab. The jab started everything. Warapon's counters weren't landing because the jab was just fast, set off a lot of the weapons for Lobo to land in him. Now, Soe Lin doesn't really work off the jab that much, but he does have good boxing. He's got boxing that's fundamentally strong enough to keep his opponent on the back foot. I watched a lot of the Soe Lin fights, even the fight against Nabil Anan, which he lost every single round, by the way. But Nabil fought off the back foot in that fight every single round. And that's because Soe Lin was heavy pressure. Lots and lots and lots of pressure. And that's probably why Nabil couldn't really knock him out, because a lot of the strikes were coming from a backstep right hand, backstep knee, backstep high kick, 1-2, backstep knee again. So a lot of the shots that Nabil was throwing in the fight against Soe Lin wasn't coming from going forward and then throwing that weight and that shoulders and that hips into it with more power, more velocity. He couldn't do that. The only shot that Nabil threw in that fight while going forward was a step in knee instead of stepping backwards. And that's because of Soe Lin fight style, guys. He makes Seksan fight backwards. When the fuck do you see Seksan ever fight backwards, right? He made Seksan fight backwards. Dimitri Koftin had to fight with the counter striking as well. Soe Lin just walks forward all the time and he boxes like that. He's got a very mean left body shot, even with the right hand as well. And I expect Worapon to, in this fight, unfortunately, not by his choice, fight of the back foot. Okay. What's going on here? 1-2, 1-2. You guys can probably still hear me, but I can hear myself. Hey, okay. Sorry, guys, just a technical malfunction here. Okay, so that's my thing about Worapon. In this fight, he's gonna unfortunately have to take the back step. And if I'm being honest here, when I watch Worapon on the back step, he's just not successful. He's more successful when he's the one leading the dance. And I think he's gonna realize very early in this fight that he's gonna have to be on the back foot. There's gonna be a bit of jostling in the beginning to see who gets that dominance in the beginning. But I think Soe Lin is gonna quickly assert that dominance and force Worapon on the back foot. Look, Worapon has got weapons that can win this fight for him, right? But he's going to have to meet fire with fire for that to make that happen. And for me, that's just too much of a risk, because when he does that, he gets outboxed. Warapon's boxing from out in range, not necessarily within like against the ropes, for example. When they're in the middle of the ring and they have to stand there from mid-range and box from mid-range, Worapon doesn't really hold his own very well when it comes to that. He's much more dangerous when he's out in the clinch, when he's got his opponent on the back ropes, on the rope. That's when Worapon looks phenomenal. But out in the open, I think a lot of the times it's fair game for me. And I think that's where Soe Lin's got the advantage. But look, this fight is still fairly even for me, because you got the vibrance of Worapon. He was on a good streak up until that loss against Julio Lobo. Soe Lin, I think the knowing as a fighter that taking on a young buck, coming off a 3-fight losing streak, it's like you have to prove yourself here now, because I think if he goes down on another loss, 4-fight losing streak against a 23-year-old that's up and coming, it's like, then you ask yourself, can I still go? Like, do I, you know what I mean? Like, what's next for my career if I'm Soe Lin? It's like, now I lost to someone that's still on the rise. Am I only worth fighting against other older fighters that are also coming down the mountain? Like, what's the reality for Soe Lin here? And I think that's going to be the big thing for him. It's probably going to be the big motivator for him in this fight as well, just to go in there and just to prove to himself that he can still withstand the new breed of fighters, if you will, right? Look, if I must give you my pick for this fight, I would suggest that you wait until the end, until the video, and then I'll give you my pick for this one. For now, I'm gonna keep it moving to the co-main event, but that's a banger of a main event, guys. Banger, banger, banger of a main event. So for now, let's keep it moving to that co-main. While you guys let me know in the comments section about who you think wins in that main event. Let's go. Okay, co-main event. We see the return of Sandro Bossi or Alec Bossi, if you want to say it, taking on Pet Sang Wan. This is Strawweight Muay Thai, which I think is quite interesting considering that I thought that Sandro Bossi is going to compete at Atomweight. We were talking about this last week in one of our lives about Sandro Bossi being potentially the next in line, maybe a year or two from now, to dethrone someone like Nadaka Yoshinari. A nice fight in strawweight, and I feel like that's probably going to be the natural progression for him. Reason being is because he's only 17, right? So he's going to get older, he's going to get taller, he's going to get heavier, he's going to get bigger. So you may not be able to actually make this weight class. That's the reality. You may have to go up to strawweight, maybe even go up to flyweight as he grows. That's the reality here. We may not see him fight against Nadaka, period. That's probably what we're going to get here. Which is probably why we've seen him fight strawweight in this fight now. Not too sure what the main reasons are, but yeah, that's probably why we've seen strawweight. And also, again, guys, just want to make one big point here. I've noticed something very consistent now towards the end of last year, going into this year, that the One Friday Fights cards are no longer having catchweight fights. I'm not sure if you guys noticed that, but no more catchweight fights, guys. No more. Everybody's fighting in their weight classes now. Everybody. No more catchweight fights. I find that very impressive because that was a big problem for me for one championship. He's having all these catchweight fights. Okay, so Sandro Bossi taking on Pet Sang Wan. Give you some statistics here. Sandro Bossi, 17 years old, recording one championship, is 1 win, 0 loss, 0 no contest. He beat Kirill Shishek by round 1 KO in his last fight. Beautiful performance, by the way. Did look a bit of a layup, but not going to take anything away from his performance. Pet Sang Wan, 23 years old, recording one championship, is 0 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contest. Lost to Mai Sang Kum by unanimous decision in his last fight. I remember Mai Sang Kum pretty much bullied him every round, and it was like, you know when someone is completely mismatched, when one fighter is doing things that's just so fucking risky. Mai Sang Kum was throwing shots in a way where it was almost like he knew that there was absolutely nothing that Pet Sang Wan could do to hurt him or change the outcome of the fight. So he was like standing up in front of him, dropping his guard, and just like wah, 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 wailing. And Pet Sang Wan just didn't know what to do with it. And I think that was a complete mismatch. He got bullied there. I'm not too sure if Pet Sang Wan's gonna be able to do anything different in this fight. Sandro Bossi is high level. This man has got multiple champions already at 17 years old. Got a good name in Thailand already. And I think he's just gonna walk through Pet Sang Wan here. I think he's gonna get the job done. I'm giving you guys my pick. I don't know why, but this is like one of those fights in this fight card where it's too difficult for me to build it up to make it an even fight and to keep you on the edge of your seat in suspense of like who I'm gonna pick. This fight is too one-sided for me. It's just it'd be foolish for me to try and build it up to where I can say Pet Sang Wan is gonna maybe give Sandro Bossi a difficult time. I just can't see it. I really just can't see it. So I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys can let me know in the comments what do you think about that co-main event. If there's anything that you can let me know about Pet Sang Wan. So I watched these 2 fights in one championship, and he lost both of them, and he lost both fights significantly. Like he didn't even win rounds in those fights. So you know what I mean. I think if you guys can give me information more about him that can justify him giving a bit of a problem for Sandro Bossi, let me know in the comment section. But you know where my picks are for that one. Let's keep it moving. I know I said I'm going to give my picks at the end of the episode, which I am going to give my picks at the end of the episode. It's just that fight in particular, like co-main event, it's just too one-sided for me. If I had to make it, if I had to build up suspense for it, I was going to end up lying through my teeth about Pet Sang Wan. Yeah, I was going to end up lying about him to build it up. So I just gave him my pick one time. Okay, so this next fight is our fun one. This fight's got me excited. When I saw the release of the fight card last week Sunday, I was like, hey, this is actually a nice matchup. Mammoth taking on Super Jang in the Bantamweight Muay Thai fight. Dude, this is gonna be a good one because I think these two young fighters are the kind of fighters that go in there and they try to win. They try to win. They both got that mindset of like, I'm gonna put on a performance here of a lifetime. I'm gonna fight my best fight. Win or lose, I'm gonna go in there and just leave it all out in the ring, right? That's the kind of performances I got when I watched these two young athletes fight in one championship. So Mammoth, 19 years old, record in one championship is 3 wins, 2 losses, contest, 2 wins by KO. He lost to Pacquiao by split decision in his last fight, which was a great fight, by the way, against a very tough opponent, Pacquiao. And I think it was also a late replacement for Mammoth, if I'm not mistaken. And he showed up and he made it a very close contest. That's why it's split decision. Super Jang, on the other hand, 20 years old. His record in one championship is 0 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contest. He lost to Lam Nang Kong by unanimous decision in his last fight. And again, a fighter that Super Jang, the reason why I thought he lost that fight is because he also lost to Chama, Super One training camp, who TKO'd him in the third round. But that's because when I watch Super Jang reminds me of a fighter that all volume, lots of footwork, no durability, right? Good speed, so he's fast, sharp, lots of fast combinations, get on his bike, moves a lot, just a hard fighter to track down, right? He's the kind of fighter where when you hit him, it's gonna leave a mark on him. It's gonna make him slow down. He's gonna take it. He's gonna move, but you can know for a fact that it's gonna hurt him. And he's gonna probably hate it. He's a little bit made of glass, in my opinion. And I think at bantamweight, he's gonna have to pack on some size. He's gonna have to put some muscle on as he grows, because the bantamweight are filled with killers. These guys in the bantamweight division will fuck you up, and he needs to really put on some size and some durability to get past that, because he's made of glass. I've seen him take shots, and I'm like, hey, he's not responding well to it. And Lam Nang Kong, if we're being real, doesn't really get knockouts. But Lam Nang Kong utilized the game plan of staying on the front foot, lots of low kicks and shots to the body, which forced Super Jang to fight backwards. Super Jang, coming from the Terek Bao gym, you know what they train there in that gym is snipers. They train sniper-like fighters, good game plans to stay on the feet, stay moving, and just tag you the whole time, not giving up any rounds. That's what those Terek Bao fighters look like, at least when I gather them fighting. I think Yankrai, what's his name? One of the fighters I like to watch. Forgot his name now. Oh, Daddy One Leg. Similar style, right? Sniper-like kind of fighters, but a lot of time on the back foot. And I think in this fight, it's going to make a fight of a bit of a whirlwind, but I think Mammoth's going to be the one that's going to be dictating the pace, because he's also high volume, like Super Jang. Also has great footwork and good pressure. But Mammoth is a little bit more of a killer, in my opinion. Like, he does go forward, and he's got that little bit of that kill shot in him. Like, he knows how to find that kill shot, and he puts a little bit more power in his shots, where Super Jang prioritizes footwork and movement. So it's like strike but not be struck. That's his style. And I think what we're going to see in this fight is Mammoth chasing down Super Jang landing a little bit more every single time, but never really hurting Mammoth. And then Mammoth, when he does land, it's probably going to make Super Jang stop his movement or slow him down significantly. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Difficult to really say who wins, because even with that style that I just mentioned now, Mammoth still has to catch him. And it's the thing about Super Jang is that he doesn't stop moving. Even if you're landing on him, he doesn't stop moving. So it's like Mammoth's gonna have to be very patient in this fight, and not necessarily get too antsy because of the movement and struggling to find Super Jang. He's gonna have to be very patient. Maybe time Super Jang when he comes in. Super Jang isn't really the kind of fighter that goes forward and stays going forward. It's more of a move. Get on your bike, sideways. Get on your bike, sideways. Never goes forward and keeps forward and keeps pressuring you and looking for that kill shot. No, he wants to outland you for 3 rounds. And I think for Mammoth, he's gonna have to time that entries from Super Jang, because Super Jang, when Super Jang is the kind of fighter that when he does go forward into the pocket, he's doing it almost like half-heartedly, if you will. You know what I mean? Because he's never really knocking anybody out. It's half-heartedly. And what I simply mean is when he does enter the pocket, it's only to land 2 or 3 shots to increase that volume, increase that point tally, and then get out. So he goes in, gets out. So he's throwing shots that are prioritizing speed and precision over power and precision. So he's kind of let go of that defense when he enters the pocket. And I think that's when Mott's going to have to, that's where he's going to have to look for the kill shot. Not when he's walking Super Jing down and trying to piece him up there. I think that's going to be a game of him chasing a lot of the time. So, yeah, tricky fight. Very tricky fight for both gentlemen here. I'm expecting fireworks because they're young, they're vibrant, they're healthy. They both like to put in high pace kind of fights. So I'm expecting fireworks in this matchup. Give me your thoughts in the comment sections about this one. Who do you guys think is going to win? Very stoked to see Mammoth back because he's becoming very much of a fan favorite for me. So yeah, but again, I can't really for sure at this moment in time give you a very confident pick. But if you stay tuned until the end of the episode, I will definitely release my picks for you guys. For now, we'll keep it moving to the next fight. Let's go. All right. Up next, we have Atomweight Muay Thai. Again, happy to see no catch weights. And also, again, I have to remind you guys, I'm going to do this after every 20-minute mark for you guys to like, share, and subscribe to the content. Please, if you like the channel, if you like fighting with friends, please like, share, and subscribe. And I think also the more times that you guys communicate within the comment section, it gives us more encouragement to keep doing this. But also, it gives me encouragement to want to keep opening up the floor and the conversation with you guys so we can have banters keep going. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we have Yod Udon taking on Salai Tan Ki Sheen. This is going to be a good fight. I must say that this is going to be a very good fight. So let me give you some numbers first. Yod Udon, he's 27 years old. His record in one championship is 2 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contest, 2 wins by KO, 2 wins by TKO, excuse me, 2 fight wins, 3. Pardon me. He beat Pet. No, I'm saying Pet. I don't know why it's Pet. Didn't he beat Ben Kriang Krai? Pet Kriang Krai. There you go. They beat Pet Kriang Krai by second round TKO. I actually remember now. That was the fight that was happened really recently, actually. I think it was last month, the month before. November. Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. Salai Tan Ki Sheen is 21 years old. His record in one championship is 0 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. That 1 loss came against number 1 ranked or number 2 ranked Atomweight at the moment, Song Chanoi. That was a unanimous decision. And I must say, in that fight, he held his own, guys. Song Chanoi beat him, but he actually held his own for 3 rounds. And I thought he fought brilliantly. I thought he lost the fight, but I thought he also did enough for me to go, I'm impressed, guys. Song Chanoi is dangerous and he knocks everybody out, and he's just an absolute beast. But Salan Tan Ki stood in there toe-to-toe with him for every single round in that fight. And I find that to be more impressive than anything. And he was landing cleanly. I mean, he cut Song Chanoi up a few times in that fight. And I was like, this guy's landing. But also, who doesn't land on Song Chanoi? Let's just be honest here. As powerful as Song Chanoi is, everybody seems to tag him. Everybody seems to be able to land a big shot on Song Chanoi. Anyway, so in this fight here, what we're going to get for me is a very fair, even matchup. On paper, I'll give it to Yod Udon because of the experience, powerful punching, the good game plan, fighting back foot, front foot. He actually has a very similar style to Kun Panoi, who's also on this fight card, by the way. Very similar style in terms of how they strike, and which range and which weapons do they throw in that particular pocket. They both like to fight mid-range. Yod Udon has got a very sharp, I think it's a left straight. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he might be a southpaw. He's got a very sharp left straight. Gets in very tight with it as well. Good knockout power. He's becoming a little bit more aggressive now since the first 2 losses in his first 2 losses in one championship. So he's turned it around a little bit. Salah Tenki, durable, because it's not everybody that survives 3 rounds of punishment from Song Chanoi, and he's able to survive all 3 of it. So he's durable, and he's got also fantastic counter strike. And I think there's a big shout for Salah Tenki. Tanki to actually get something out of this fight. I don't know what the odds look like. Remember, guys, I don't make my picks based on the odds. I make my picks based on past fights, fight styles, momentum, camps, who did well over the last couple of weeks, things like that. I look at that and then make my picks and like success rate in terms of punches landed and how they throw it, which technique is a little bit more flawless than the other one. That's what motivates my picks. And in this fight, it's again a fight where either guy can beat each other here. Yod Udon is sharp, right? But Yod Udon also gets tagged. He also sometimes gives up rounds a bit too much for me. And I want to see him stay aggressive. But Salatan Key, what kept him a survivor fight against Song Chanoi is that his footwork kept him alive. He was able to move a lot in that fight. And he was countering a lot cleanly on Song Chanoi. And I think he might be able to land cleaner on Yodudon because I think Yodudon does not have, actually, he's not as good as defense as what I would like him to be. I would go as far as to say that his defense is almost on par with Song Chanoi's, who is not that great either with defense. They almost heavily rely on their durability and their aggression to win them fights. And against a very powerful and sharp counter striker of Salah Tanki and the Salah Tanki's movement, it poses big threats for Yod Udon in here. But he should still get the job done with his experience and his precision like striking. Yod Udon is very precise. When he's going backward as well, he's got a nice feint, like a dip, and then come up with a straight. He's very good at doing it and lands a lot. It's an intriguing matchup purely because I was very, very impressed with Salah Tanki's performance against Song Chunwei, and that gives me a lot of confidence in him. You know what I mean? As a debut fight against number one ranked or number two ranked fighter in the division, that speaks volumes, guys. So I don't think this fight is as cut and dry for Yod Udon as what maybe the bookies who might make it. That's a very interesting fight. Keep a lookout for that one on this fight card. This fight has a lot to prove here. I think both guys, considering now that we know what the Atomweight division looks like in that landscape, I think both guys are taking this as an opportunity to get themselves closer to a contract and to maybe make themselves take on more ranked opponents in this division. But give me your thoughts, guys. Give me your thoughts in the comment section, please. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. I don't want to be just giving my picks and then go on it. I think getting some back and forth banter with you guys helps me look at my own picks and see where I'm wrong and right. So yeah, let's keep that banter going. But for now, I'm gonna keep it moving to the next fight. Let's go. Won't go wrong with lemon water. All right, Strawweight Muay Thai. We have the return of Jang taking on 10. And I think this fight is virtually identical in terms of records, styles, age, everything. Height. These guys are pretty much the same. Jang let me give you some stats on Jang and then we'll talk about some X's and O's. So Jang 28 years old, record in one championship is 1 win, 2 losses, 0 no contest. 2 wins, not 2 wins, 2 fight losing streak. He lost to Yodanocha by unanimous decision in his last fight. Glenn, on the other hand, he's also 28 years old. His record in one championship is 0 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. He lost to Petra Pau by split decision in that fight that he had in one championship. So yeah, both guys, and that was in 2023, by the way. Jian his last fight was August 2025 against Udanocha. He lost. Before that, he also lost to Mai Sang Kum. That was March 2024 by unanimous decision. And then his fight before that was 2023. He won against Racha Mangko by unanimous decision. So very much sort of big gaps in between his fights. And then obviously Dan as well hasn't fought in one championship for 2 years. I'm sure both these guys have fought outside of one. They have fought outside of one during that time, but when it comes to conversations around one championship, very inactive, and I think that's a bit of a concern for me because there wasn't enough consistency for me to see some growth. But I remember some of Jounce's fights, and he's a power puncher by trade. That's what he does. He relies on heavy-handed fighter, gets in very close and lets hooks fly. He's very good at that. Then very similar as well. Very much reliant on his power punching. I can't really predict who's going to win this one, to be realistic with you guys, because of the inactivity between the two of them. I haven't seen them in a while, so not too sure. But I feel like if they go off anything like what I did see in the past, this is going to be a barn burner kind of fight. They're going to go in hard and they're going to go in with a lot of strikes, a lot of punching, more than there's going to be kicks between these two guys, because that's what they heavily rely on is the power strikes. Again, not too sure who's going to win it. I just don't. This is what one fight on this fight card where I just really can't justify a pick. So I'm not going to give a pick. Even at the end of the episode, I'm not going to give a pick for this one. Maybe on the live watch along, I'll be able to give you guys a more decisive pick when it comes to that one. But I think primarily it's going to be a 50-50 fight. They're going to stand and bang, and whoever lands first is going to win the fight. I think Jancy has got the speed advantage. I remember correctly. I think it's a little bit faster. But yeah, not much else I can really say when it comes to that one. But you guys can. in the comment sections. Let's go. Okay, we have Bantamweight Muay Thai up next. We have Jang taking on John Clay. And this is an interesting one for me because, again, you know me, I don't really talk much about debut fighters, but I did some research on John Clay. He's 24 years old. This is his debut. Apparently, he's the favorite in this fight. I don't know why. He has fought a few times outside of one before, so he's racked up some good records, some good fights. Um, and that probably gives him a favor. But I think Dunk, I think because of his one loss in the one championship, is probably why they're making him the underdog. He's 27 years old. His record in one is 0 wins, one loss, no contest. That one loss came against Super Yai Chan, first round KO. But again, Super Yai Chan is one of the prospects from Myanmar. Currently today, he's like one of the big prospects coming out of the letterweight background. He's powerful puncher, fast, just very elusive, and Dunk had a difficult time dealing with that. I think that's probably why they're giving it to him, and also because of the record of, or at least the outside resume of Kajong Klai is probably why they're making him the favorite. That's all I really wanted to talk about in this fight, is that the debut fighter is the favorite here, which I find very interesting. But it's not like a massive favorite; it's a close favorite. But Dunk is a good fighter. He's a powerful boxer. I just think the fight against Super Yechan, Super Yechan never really gave him a chance to settle. Attacked him aggressively from the get go and put him on the back foot the whole time. And I think that's lessons to be learned. So maybe we might even get a better Dunk this time. I'm not so sure. We have to see on the day. But I'm very intrigued to understand why Ka Jong Klai is the major favorite for that fight, or excuse me, why he's the favorite for that fight. Do you know why? ESPV, ESR, boys, if you guys got any opinions, let me know in that comment section. Let's keep it moving. Okay, so up next we have Kun Suk, 22 years old, Atomweight Muay Thai, taking on Nai Yin, also from Myanmar. This is gonna be an interesting one again. Because Kun Suk, you know what he's all about. This guy is just one of those heavy-handed fighters in this division. Good boxer, doesn't really use any kicks, just primarily boxes. But he gets his knockouts, guys. He gets his finishes. Get this, he's 22 years old, right? His record in one championship is 7 wins, 5 losses, 0 no contest, 6 wins by KO. He beat Tup Ting Tong by second round KO in his last fight. At 22 years old, right? 7 wins, 5 losses. My guy's been fighting. Rambo Rex got a contract and fighting on a prime video card this weekend. Rambo Rex only has half of those fights, and he already has the record. He already has the contract. Just something to think about. Nayin, Nayin is 23 years old. He's making his one championship debut, and he's also making his pro debut. I think he only had 2 fights prior to this or something like that. So very young, or a year older, but very young in terms of his fight journey. Whereas Kunsuk is a year younger in age, but has fought, what's that? That's 13 fights already. 6 of them are knockouts. That's more than the 50% finishing rate. That's very good. That's very, very good, right? So it's a fight where on paper it should favor Kunsuk, but you know these debut fighters are such a unknown factor and can change anything on the night. So I'm always going to reserve my opinions when it comes to that because you can't bet on something you don't know. But Kunsuk is a good guy. He's a good fighter. He's vibrant and he's turning things around again after coming off some losses. So let's see what happens here. If you guys know what's going to happen, give me your thoughts in the comment section. Let's keep it moving. All right, Flyweight Muay Thai. We have Kun Panoi taking on Rustam Tomahawk Yunusov. One of my favorite fighters in one championship right now, in terms of like the young talent, just because of his humbleness, the way that he fights, and like he communicates back to us, guy. Like he actually comments on our stuff on Instagram. He shares our stuff on Instagram. So I find that a little bit respectful, and it could be been making him a little bit of a favorite for me because of that. There's some biasness going into it, but I want to talk about this fight and remove that and just break it down in terms of how these guys fight, right? So Kun Panoi is 33 years old. He's already won championships, 8 wins, 2 losses, no contest. He's got 3 wins by KO, 6 fight win streak, beating Tantzin. by unanimous decision in his last fight. Rustam Yunusov is 18 years old. His record in one championship is 6 wins, 0 losses, 0 no contest, 3 wins by KO. He beat Pet Sukhumvit by first round KO in his last fight. So both guys are on a 6-fight win streak in one championship. I'm not talking about outside one championship, right? So this is a good fight. That's a big fight because also I think both gentlemen make a big argument for a contract after this. I think that this fight has got that implications for me. There's a contract on the line here. And stylistically, we look at Rustam's fight style: high pressure, high volume, looks for the KOs. He's got strong elbows. That's what they call him, tomahawk, by the way. Strong elbows in the clinch and outside the clinch. But at least when they get into mid range, he's got good footwork, which is very difficult for opponents to deal with. Which is why he gets a lot of knockouts because he's unpredictable. He gets in very tight and aggressive, but then he also feints and like will step left and right, not necessarily move, but will step there just to basically move his opponent's front foot, get him out of stance or out of balance, and then he throws some of his shots. So at that point, your defense is taken away, and then he throws stuff. He's got a high IQ for an 18-year-old fighter. He fights with a lot of high IQ. However, there was a fight that he had in one championship where I thought he was tested, and that was against Don King. Don King took him to 3 rounds. He was the only fighter to do so in 6 fights, right? And what Don King did really well in that fight was fighting back. He fought back, put the pressure on Rustam, especially in round 2 and 3. He put Rustam on the back foot, and took him to the cleaners with it, like fought him hard. The only thing that Don King was unsuccessful with was finding that range. There was a lot of times when Don King wanted to land his big shots, and he was just out of range. But what made the fight go to 3 rounds was that he didn't allow Rustam to KO him. He didn't stay there and take pictures and like be mesmerized by this boy's movement. He fought him back, punched him in the stomach, punched him in the face, and he walked him down and tipped him and kicked him in the calves and said, "No, we're gonna fight back, bro. It's not gonna be a fight where you can just walk me down and do the tomahawk and stand and throw an elbow and spin on me the whole time." Don King was like, "Fuck that, bro. I'm gonna make you fight me hard. It's not gonna be so easy for you." And I think Kunpanoi has got the exact same measures. He also fights like that. Kunpanoi also has that game plan of you're not just gonna hit me in the face so easily because he's durable. He's defensively sound. The Sosu my gym produces fantastic fighters. You know what I mean? So I think we got to put some respect on Kunpanoi's name here. And I think this fight's going to be a fight where Rustam is tested here, guys. Rustam is going to get tested here. A lot of the fights up until this point, I always picked Rustam to win. I was like, this kid is too good. He's humble about it as well. And that's making him even more dangerous, right? But this time he's getting tested. And the Don King fight was the fight where I was like, he's going to get tested in this fight because Don King is very, very high level. And Don King did test him. Even though Don King lost that fight, he did test Rustam in that fight. Right? Then he got Pit Sukhumvit, who I thought was a little bit of a not short notice, but that fight was weird for me because Pit Sukhumvit had fought 2 weeks prior. I was like, I don't think Pit Sukhumvit's going to beat him. Right? And Rustam took him out in the first round. Kunpanoi, on the other hand, same thing with Tanzin. Tanzin went to a Superlex gym, trained, came back, but I was like, I don't think Tanzin's got enough in the arsenal to beat Kunpanoi. And Kunpanoi is too stylish. He's too experienced to beat him. The way to beat Kunpanoi is you're gonna have to basically bully him, attack him put him on the back foot the whole time, and attack his base a lot. So a lot of the shots need to go to his stomach, to the sternum, to the calf, to the front and inside leg. You have to attack those weapons because when you try to headhunt Kunpanoi, he's got such a good way of defending by the way that he moves, and he never really leaves his guard down. I watch enough fights with Kunpanoi. He doesn't really put that guard down, and he's got good counter striking. I do believe he's going to be on the back foot in the first round. I do think that's where it's going to be the keys to the fight for me. The big factor is that first round. The reason being is because Rustam, the reason why he wins a lot of his fights for me is he starts early. And because he's so young, he's got energy for days, right? He's got the gas tank that can just keep going. What Rustam does is he starts early and he starts fast and hard. And why he does that is because he knows, all right, by doing so, he puts his opponent into catch-up mode. You have to catch me now. Because within the first minute and 30 seconds of this fight, I'm putting you on the back foot. I'm making you chase me down now. I'm Rustam does this thing where he almost guarantees that he wins that first round. He wins the first half of that first round so well that puts this thought in his fighter's mind, his opponent's minds, that they have to catch up now. They have no choice but to catch up. And it usually leads to them abandoning defense, reckless abandonment, and it shows their hand, and then Rustam catches them with some good shots and knocks them out. Right? And I find that quite impressive, actually. That's a very high IQ way of fighting. He does it in a way that's very defensive at the same time. He doesn't just go in there and bullies you and gets reckless. He goes hard in the first round, but he does keep that defense there. That all he wants to do is to make you know that you need to chase me. That's what he does really well. And that when you get that into opponents' minds, they usually fight a little bit without the game plan now, because like, oh, I can't be on the back foot. I can't be down on the scorecards. I need to get it back. So you kind of abuse or you let go some of the game plan and defenses to get that one back. That plays into Rustam's hand. So I think that's going to be the biggest moment in this fight, which is going to be that first 90 seconds of that first round. That's going to be the moment where you can decide how this fight's going to play out. So let me know in the comment sections, guys, about this featured bout of the fight card. I really can't wait for it. It's a fun fight to watch, especially because there's two top-tier fighters in terms of Lumpinee, so experienced, and then Rustam as one of the breakout stars, if you will, for 2025. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, guys, while I keep moving. Okay, up next we have Soe Lin taking on Mugaseto. This is Bantamweight Muay Thai. And Soe Lin is one championship debut. Apparently, based on what I saw on Facebook, he's undefeated in Littaway. And I think he's got 92 fights with 0 losses. So the guy's undefeated prospect coming from Myanmar. Don't know what his age is. I think he's 23 years old or something like that, 22, 23. So he's still young, but 93 fights before you're 24 years old is a big feat. But he's taking on a gangster. He's taking on one of the best. In my opinion, I like to call him the Yakuza of one championship, Mugaseto. Because he's just got that vibe about him, bro. He's just got that gangster-esque mentality and that vibe, that swagger. He just carries himself like that. He's probably one of the nicest guys to meet. I'm pretty sure he's one of the nicest guys to talk to. But he just has this aura of like, don't fuck with me kind of energy. But polite. He's polite, but I'll take your head off kind of energy that he gives me. And he's recorded one championship. He's 4 wins, 1 loss. He's no contest, 2 wins by KO, 2-fight win streak, beating Ryan Meki by unanimous decision in his last fight. And again, another good fight. And Mugaseto, what I like about him is he's got that kill or be killed mentality, man. He fights hard. He takes a shot and he starts smiling, and then he starts getting more aggressive and take it to you. And he's not reckless with it. Mind you, he's not reckless with it. He's actually very technical with how he gets chaotic in there. So he's one of those fighters where you need to back him up all the time. And even while you're backing him up all the time, you need to be very defensive in walking forward, because Mugaseto is always attacking. He's always on the offense. Whether he's going backwards or forward, he's just making it a dogfight the whole time. And I think this fight's gonna be that kind of fight where we're gonna have just a barn burner, because again, if you've watched any Myanmar-based fighters in Muay Thai, they don't fight boring fights. They just keep going forward and get aggressive the whole time. So and if you look at Mugaseto, he likes that. He's like, that's what he loves. He loves that kind of war. So this fight's gonna probably be one of the most brutal and bloody fights on this fight card. Is this one here? Mugaseto taking on Soe Lin. Give me your thoughts in the comment section, please, and gentlemen, while I keep moving it to the next fight in this fight. Right, up next we have Alistair Valdez taking on Batochir Barsai Khan from Mongolia, Bantamweight MMA. Just to remind you guys again, stay tuned till the end of the episode where I'll be releasing my official picks for this fight card. Alistair Valdez taking on the Mongolian young up-and-comer in Batochir Barsai Khan, or the Mongolian name is Barsai Khan. There we go. Alistair Valdez is 26 years old, coming out of Australia. Record one championship is 1 win, 0 losses, 0 no contest. That 1 win came by a TKO. Again, Asad Bek, Erikinov by second round TKO, and I thought he would actually tap him out, but he TKO'd him instead. Batorchir, he's 24 years old. His record in one championship is 2 wins, 0 losses, 2 wins by TKO. He beating Adelson Nunes by third round TKO in his last fight. Yeah, so White Saikan, durable like the Mongolians are, well-rounded like the Mongolians are. No really specialty now they fight. They're just very good at everything. They got beautiful grappling, beautiful striking, competent jiu-jitsu. They're just a well-rounded breed of fighters, dude. They just all are like that, and I'm very impressed with the Mongolian style of fighting. Even though they're kind of built around wrestling, they're just very very good at everything. But he's taking on one of the Craig Jones practitioners, one of the Craig Jones proteges in Alistair Valdez, and like I was impressed with his fight, his opening fight. Even though he fought against someone that I'm not familiar with, but that Asad Bek is from Russia, he's Dagestani based, and Valdez basically walked right through him easily. And Valdez has got very good striking. Even though he's a jiu-jitsu guy, his striking is fucking good, guys. He's tall, he's lanky, he's got that reach. I think this is going to be a fight where he will be tested because uh, 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 White Side Khan is a go-getter. He walks forward, he makes the fight aggressive, he utilizes good wrestling. He's got good ground and pound. His striking is sharp. I think he's gonna be on the front foot for the most part of this fight. But don't count out Valdez, dude. Valdez is sneaky. And there's one thing about the Mongolian guys. I'm keen to see how they deal with jiu-jitsu fighters. That's a big thing for me. Is how do they deal with jiu-jitsu guys? And Valdez has got good jiu-jitsu. So this fight is gonna be a stylistic matchup here. Styles match fights. Whoever deploys the best game plan is gonna get the job done here. But give me your thoughts in the comment section. I know DSPV putting a big shout for Alistair Valdez the last time. Maybe he might do so again. But yeah, I'll keep it moving for now. Let's go. Okay, so this fight we have two debut fighters. So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet for this one. So we have Zhao Zhengdong taking on Keisuke Monguchi from Japan. This is strawweight kickboxing. Zhao Zhengdong is making his one championship debut. He is a K1 fighter. I think he's a former champ as well, if I'm not mistaken. His record is 27 wins, 2 losses. You don't know contest. He's got 3 wins by KO of that 27 wins. So very, very good kickboxer. Kisuki Monguchi, on the other hand, is 30 years old. I'm not too sure how old Zhao is, to be honest with you. He's also making his one championship debut. He's a former Rise featherweight kickboxing champion, also with some good records there. So this is going to be a high-level fight, high-level kickboxing fight. Not too sure what to make of it because it's debut fighters, but should be fun, guys. And you know what that means for the Japanese kickboxing guys. The slot on the card, they usually always get their job done. They usually always win. So interesting times, but I'm not going to give you a pick for that one because I don't know who's going to win. It's also going to be the first time I'm watching these two guys fight. So not going to give you a pick on that one. But you can tell me who wins in the comment section. Please keep it moving, guys. Bantamweight kickboxing, we have Gabriel Pereira taking on Hiroki Suzuki. Gabriel Pereira is 26 years old. His record in one championship is 1 win, 0 losses, 0 no contest. He beat Taku by unanimous decision in his last fight. Oh, pardon. Hiroki Suzuki is 29 years old. His record in one championship is 0 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. He lost to Fariyar Aminpur by split decision in his last fight. So, yeah, not very confident in him. Especially he lost against somebody who he should be beating and he lost by split decision. So that wasn't really, really impressive. Gabriel, can't really remember how the fight went against Taku. So I'm a bit confused there how he actually fights, but he won that fight. So yeah, I don't really have that much to say for this one either. Let's see. I'm hoping for a good performance, but yeah, can't really say much to be real with you guys. So I'm gonna keep it moving for that one. And plus, they're not really on my picks for the fight card, so I'll bypass that one. I will talk about this one because I have seen Paul Pasquale fight before. Paul Pasquale is 22 years old. This is strawweight Muay Thai. His record in one championship is 1 win, 1 loss, 0 no contest. That 1 win came by TKO, and then he lost to Singh Wood by unanimous decision in his last fight. Yuga Kaito is 26 years old. His record in one championship is 1 win, 0 loss, 0 no contest. Had 1 win is by KO against Ki Jing-jun, second round TKO in that fight. So yeah, this is gonna be a fun fight. If he fights anything the way that he does, Yuga Kaito, then it's a power puncher, walks forward, loves to power punch. But Paul Pasquale is young, he's vibrant, and he's got a good fight style. He's got good determination, he's got good relentlessness about him. He walks in and he gets aggressive, sharp boxing as well. I want him to land bigger shots. I want him to be able to do so. He's gonna have to keep his hands up and his guard up, but I expect him to be the one that actually dictates the pace here. He's not in my picks, my parlay, but I will give you my pick for the fight. I think Paul Pasquale will win this fight purely because of his I would say his experience in the discipline. I like his aggression. He's durable. He's got good defense. I think what beat him because what was just sharper on the counter striking. He won by being back foot counter striking and doing a good job of that. Where Paul Pascal was just walking him down and sort of getting a bit too aggressive and not really landing anything, and that kind of led to him losing the fight. But I think if he keeps that defense up and be very precise with the aggression and not just give up spaces and give up targets, I think he wins this fight over Yuga Kato. But give me your thoughts in the comment sections, please, guys. We'll keep it moving. Hey, lastly, we have Strawweight MMA, and we have Gabriel Leonetti taking on Tuan Nguyen Tan from Vietnam, and he's ranked. Oh, excuse me, he's 22 years old. He's making his one championship debut. This is his pro. He's only his third pro fight, so he's got a record of 2 wins, 0 losses, no contest for pro. Gabriel Leonetti is 25 years old. His record in one championship is 1 win, 0 losses, no contest. That 1 win came by sub against Jan Menard Atoll. We just make sure I got that correct. Yeah. Atoll. That was from the Philippines, and he bullied him. He absolutely bullied him. I thought he was gonna outstrike him, but just took him down and bullied him, bro, and then got that sub. And I get the feeling we're gonna see the same thing. Yeah, I think Gabriel Leonetti is gonna walk him down, land a big shot because he's got a lot of power. He's gonna take Tuan down and do the same thing, tap him out, or maybe even just ground and pound him to a TKO finish. Give me your thoughts in the comment section, guys, while I now bring up my picks for this fight card, and then I'll tell you why I'm going with it. So what I'll do is I'm going to bring it up on screen. Give me a second. That parlay for one Friday fights 139. I'm only gonna do one parlay for this fight card because we have parlays for Fight Night 39 and we have parlays for UFC. So I'm only doing one parlay for this fight card, not two like I normally do because of all the fights. And what I'm doing on screen with this parlay is the most confident that I am with all the picks, all the other fights that I was talking about, topsy-turvy. So you will see Gabriel Leonetti on that pick, as you can see on the fight card here, because I think he's going to beat the young up-and-comer, and also the inexperience from Tawan makes me go with Leonetti. And Leonetti fights very aggressively, so I think he's going to get the job done there by a finish. We also have Alistair Valdez on that list because I think Alistair Valdez has a little bit more weapons than Bait Sang Khan. Bait Sang Khan is a well-rounded athlete, primarily known for his finishing and TKOs, power punching. What does he do when he takes on someone that's got high-level jiu-jitsu, Alistair Valdez, and confidence striking and reach and height advantage as well? So there's a lot more pros to Valdez winning the fight than Bait Sang Khan. So that's why I've got Valdez for the win there. Then we have Kun Suk. Notice how I don't have Kun Panoe and Rustam on there because it's a fight that I can't actually justify the pick. I just can't. It's too even for me to really go on it. So I'm leaving that one out. But I do have Kun Suk over Nayin purely because Nayin, debut, young, inexperienced. Kun Suk, power puncher, heavy-handed kind of fighter, known for his knockouts. And he's actually turning things around, especially in that last fight where I thought he was going to lose. He actually won. That shows me growth. And I've also got Mammoth. The reason why I got Mammoth is because even though these two fighters are equal in terms of their fight style, their age is only a year gap between the two of them. They're very similar in their style. But I think Mammoth is more of a killer, more dangerous, has got more power, and he's got that kill shot in him, and he's very precise. And Super Jang doesn't really knock people out. There's the back foot too much, which means he gives up a lot of the space, and Mammoth's going to catch him. And then lastly, Sandro Bossi with the win. Because it's Sandro Bossi, he doesn't lose. He's just too technical, too elusive, too young, too tall, too fast. too precise. And Pet Sangwan, I don't know if he's able to get it done here. And then you'll notice why I don't have Worapon and Soe Lin on the fight on the picks is because it's too unpredictable. Soe Lin has got the fight style that will put Worapon in trouble for me, right? But Worapon can land big shots and win the fight on decision that way. But that's why it's for me it's 50-50. So I'm not gonna give a pick in the parlay. But okay, chat. If you guys got different opinions, let me know your thoughts. Give me your parlays in the comment section. I will put that parlay in the comment section as well for you guys to look at it there. I'll also revisit that parlay tomorrow when we do the live for this fight card. But that is my time, ladies and gentlemen. If you like you read this far, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We will be live, as you can see on screen, in 1 day from now. We'll be live for this One Friday Fights 139 card. And we'll be live literally the next day or the next morning for One Fight Night 39. Then live again on Sunday morning for UFC at 4 a.m. South African time for that main card. With UFC 324. Looking forward to it. But that is my time for myself and the Fighting with Friends team. Much love and respect to all of you guys. Shout for all the likes and subscribes. Have a good day and looking forward to seeing you all for our next live. Have a good one, everybody. Cheers.